that the Senate got defeated. In other words, they were trying to legalize the slot. So
did they get?
yes,
Okay.
I've been part of that group.
I know that you had said you were keeping an eye
Yeah.
out on it.
So it got defeated.
Okay.
Copy.
Defeated in the Senate with no path forward.
They're illegal.
Well, they're not legal. You know, the problem was, you know, the police department will enforce it, the highway patrol won't enforcement. Nobody will, you know, the prosecutor won't do anything. It's like nobody's taking ownership.
Oh, the slot. I don't want to do. I don't want to do this.
I'm with you. I don't do that well.
In the Senate, that was the one.
We already know who that's going to. So.
Really?
Yeah.
Good.
Let's get over.
Nope.
That's such a good age.
They win. 1 minute.
Right here.
That's fine. So I don't say openly.
I know, me
Yes.
too. I'll just take this whole stack.
All right. Good evening, everyone. This is the Mayor's Agenda, City of Hannibal, official council agenda, Tuesday, May 4th, 2021. Council's chambers, 7 p.m. I'd ask the clerk, please call the roll.
Councilmembers Bowen,
Here.
Welch,
Here.
Beach,
Here.
McCoy,
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Dobson,
Here.
Councilmember Cogdill, Mayor Hark.
Here. There being a quorum, I call this meeting to order. Councilperson Cogdill for one more time. The invocation.
Gracious Heavenly Father, Lord, we just thank you once again allowing us to gather together, be in your presence and of the city. Lord, I just ask that you continue to bless this community, Lord, continue to help us drive forward, Lord, that you would bless all of our employees, our department heads, Lord, the staff, everybody that's just working endlessly right now through these hard times to keep the community going and to help us strive to come out of the other end of what's been a pretty rough year, Lord. I thank you for the opportunity to serve on the council, Lord. I thank you for the good of the community, Lord, and I just for allowing me to serve with everyone that I've got the opportunity to serve with, and for the constituents that, Lord, just is my whole heart. I thank you for using me in any capacity that you did. Lord, continue to bless this council, continue to bless this community, and everybody that steps forward, Lord, just to continue to better this neighborhood where we live and love so dearly. I ask these things in Jesus' name and for his sake.
Councilman Bowen, would you lead us in the pledge?
I pledge allegiance to the flag.
Council, at this time, I'd ask for a motion to approve the agenda as it is posted this Tuesday, March 4th, 2021.
So move.
Motion is second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion's carried. Now asking for a motion to approve the minutes of the closed session, March 16th, 2021, and the regularly scheduled council meeting of April 20th, 2021.
Second.
Motion is second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion's carried. Now asking for a motion to approve the payroll and claims for the second half of April 2021.
So move.
Second.
Motion is second. Any discussion over payroll and claims? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion's carried. Council, under my name for a approval of an appointment for a second reading to the Employee Benefit Trust Board. Sue Lewis, reappointment for a term to expire May of 2024. Do I have a motion?
So move. Second.
Motion is second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That motion's carried. Lisa Peck, City Manager.
Before you tonight, I have approval and appointment for the Hannibal Parks and Recreation Board of Leanne Bird Homburger for appointment for an unexpired term that expires July of 2023.
Is there a motion to approve?
I move. Second.
Motion and a second. Any discussion over this appointment? None, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion's carried. Next item on the agenda is Karen Burdett, Director of Finance.
Good evening, Mayor, Council. I have a payroll ordinance number 3 amendment. Since I brought this last council meeting, the person that was promoted to Office Assistant 2 has resigned, and she was very beneficial to the department. And so to replace her, we would like to go to a full-time position, but we need to amend that ordinance to a full-time position so that we can advertise for that position. Have any questions? Okay,
Here's not.
thank you.
So is there a motion to approve the, oh, we'll just read it as amended? Okay, very good. You do. Andy, were you able to find out where that's at?
Yeah, it's white Dodge Ram. Right out here. And it's done.
Magic.
Oh,
Oh,
There
there
it
we
is
go.
back.
Okay. Okay, Angels of Ronia City Clerk.
All right, Mayor, Council, certification of the municipal election from April 6, 2021, certified to me by the Marion and Rawls County Clerks. We have for municipal judge Donald McMaster Bastian. We had 1,195 for total votes of 1,215 and 20 write-ins, declaring Donald McMaster Bastian winner of the Hannibal Municipal Judge seat. For council member of the First Ward, Darrell McCoy, 299 votes with 5 write-ins for a total of 304 votes, declaring Darrell McCoy winner of the First Ward council seat. For council member of the Third Ward, Stefan Franke, we had 91 votes, write-in 8 for total votes of 99, declaring Stefan Franke winner of the Third Ward council seat. Proposition 1, amending Chapter 2, the council, Section 2.07, time, place, meetings of the charter, amended to allow council members to attend meetings by electronic means in the event that due to an illness of a council person or persons, contamination of City Hall, a general health emergency or pandemic, that would allow council persons quarantined not be present in City Hall. Marion County, there were 1,099 yes votes, 329 no votes. Rawls County, 23 yes votes, 5 no votes. For total yes votes, 1,122. No votes, 334. Showing a total vote of 1,456 for Proposition 1. Declaring Proposition 1 having passed by 788 votes.
Okay. Next is under, correct? Elected Repeat after me. It's only consideration such matters act with impartiality. No, we should say have a fiduciary Okay, council, we have before us now Bill number 21-010. I need a motion to have the clerk give this bill a second and final reading.
So moved.
Motion is second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion's carried.
Bill number 21-010, an ordinance of the City of Hannibal providing for submission of a proposal, Proposition 1, to allow the City of Hannibal to impose an additional limited city sales tax of 0.5% for the sole purpose of funding citywide infrastructure and remedial improvements to the qualified voters of the city for their approval at the election to be held Tuesday, August 3rd, 2021, and if adopted, this new tax shall continue until repealed by the voters of Hannibal by a certified election. Second and final reading. Councilmembers Bowen,
Yes.
Welch,
Yes.
Beach, McCoy,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Dobson,
Yes.
Councilmember Cogdell,
Yes.
and Mayor Hark.
Yes. I declare Bill number 21-010 duly approved and adopted on this day. We now have Bill number 21-011. I need a motion to have the clerk give this bill a second and final reading as amended.
Second.
Motion is second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion's carried.
Bill number 21-011 as amended. An ordinance of the City of Hannibal amending fiscal year 2020-2021 payroll ordinance number 3 relative to eliminating the Office Assistant 1 position and replacing with an Office Assistant 2 in the Municipal Court Department. Second and final reading. Council members Bowen,
Yes.
Welch,
Yes.
Beach,
Yes.
McCoy,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Dobson,
Yes.
Councilmember Cogdell,
Yes.
and Mayor Hark.
Yes. I declare Bill number 21-011 duly approved and adopted on this day. Council, before we adjourn sine die, I would ask the councilperson Cogdell, please.
Emotional?
All right. Let's think back a long time ago. Work and pleasure. 1985, 86, there. Melissa was number one biscuit maker at Arby's. How many biscuits she turned out. Lived in Hannibal during that time. out there with flower. Been on the same side of some topics, and we've been on opposite sides. Like all serving council. Hey. Thank you. Your pleasure. Thank you. There. So, all right.
I don't care about that. Guys.
Thanks.
I'll see you.
And just in case anybody was wondering, no, she is meeting. She's still going to remain active. Try out. Try those eyes up. So at this time, council, I'd like to go ahead and adjourn. Sine die.
Motion?
Yes.
Motion.
Second.
Motion is second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion's carried. Nope. Okay. Yes, Stefan.
I don't care.
Okay, with our newly seated councilman and elected officials in place, I would ask the clerk now to please call the roll.
Councilmembers Bowen,
Here.
Welch,
Here.
Veach,
Here.
McCoy,
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Dobson,
Here.
Councilmember Franke, and Mayor Hark.
Here. There being a quorum, I'll go ahead and call this meeting to order. First item on the agenda now is Kathy Ware, Dutch Country General Store. There we are. Okay, just go ahead and step right up here to the podium, please.
We are just asking for the permission. I think we've submitted the information needed to have the North River Iron Club do their fundraiser for the honor flight. They'll cross the river from Illinois, come down the avenue, and park in our parking lot. There's the city parking lot until about 2 o'clock. It's going to be a little bit of a show, tractor show. All proceeds are for the Great River honor flight. And I'll let Billy just tell you a little bit about what they do.
We've been doing this drive for 5 years now for the honor flight. Raised right at $17,000 so far. Every year we go out through the country. 2 years ago, we didn't get to have it last year because of the coronavirus. 2 years ago, we went from Palmar to Monroe City on 36, and every tractor's got to have a flag, and they're just old tractors. We're just out to give the veterans, back what they give us. And this year we decided we was coming across the river. I'm from Palmyra, but we wanted to cross the river with tractors. Kathy wanted us to come to her store, so that's where we're going to be.
Just real quick, sir, has your club been working with MoDOT? Cover the roads, it's not under the city control, particular the bridge, crossing the bridge and
Yes.
stuff.
We have our permits on its way now from the highway patrol. We talked to MoDOT yesterday, Lieutenant Ralph, we talked to him. Michael Benjamin with the fire department, they're escorting us. Palmyra Fire Department's going to be with us, escorting us. Paul and Kinderhook, Payson Fire Department, and maybe New Canton. Got all of them, and Marion County Sheriff's going to be with us as well.
Chief, there was an email from Captain Gottman with Missouri State Highway Patrol. What's the status of that email? What was the content of that? Mhm. Okay. Okay, very good. That's okay. I just want to make sure we're all on the same page,
Yeah.
and this is also for the council's information as well. Everything else is in order. As far as the event application, council, there's no other concerns or potential roadblocks.
Motion to approve. Second.
A motion and a second to approve the special event application. Any other discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion's carried. Very good. If I may ask to guys to stay in contact with Lieutenant Roth or Chief's office as you get the rest of the details worked out with the Highway Patrol, so
Okay.
that we can all work together really easily that way.
I've got to email the permit from the highway patrol making
Okay?
to Lieutenant as soon as I get it.
Okay.
I sent it off yesterday, so it should be, they told me it'd be a couple days, so I should have it.
Fantastic. All right. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, next item on the agenda is Amy Allen with the Hannibal J.C.'s.
I have Bobby Matthews. We are all chairman for NTSC this year.
So you're not ganging up on us?
No.
Oh, okay. All right. Had me worried for a minute.
Depends how you. So we're just here to talk to you guys about the street closure request for NTSD, National Tom Sawyer Days. Specific street closures remain the same as in years past. If you look at your special event application packet, it'll have the updated dates for this year's events included for those closures. And as always, we request to waive any fees for the carnival. That's gonna
Okay. Is that the thing of the past? Okay. Council, just looking down through this, is a very mirror application that we have had in the past. So you're familiar with this application. According to the departments, there's no problems listed. Looks like the majority of the extra that we have to provide is obviously from the police, and that's just the nature of the business there. So is there a motion to approve this application?
Second.
Motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion's carried. That was easy. Okay, next item on the agenda, Rich Stilley with the Hannibal School District. And he has been replaced. Temporary replacement, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Just for the evening. My name's Ted Sampson. Rich Stilley couldn't be here this evening. So I'm here to request street closures for two separate events. One for the graduate parade on Friday, May 21st, one for the graduation ceremony. Normal parade route down Broadway, beginning at 6 p.m. with staging to begin at 5:30 between Grand Avenue and 10th Street. Then the graduation would be the typical request we put in to close down Brookside Drive from approximately 7:45 p.m. until the end of the ceremony. With request of barricades to be provided by the city as usual and typical police request presence for extra security.
Go ahead on this first item. First, council looking at the application, everything's in order, and the hold harmless agreement, certificate of insurance is in place. So is there a motion to approve?
Second.
Motion is second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion's carried. And your next item, sir. Ready? No.
Just adding the
Adding
discharge
the,
of fireworks.
discharge
Oh, yes,
of
I'm
fireworks.
sorry. I left
Right.
out the fireworks. So last year we had a fireworks show, also requesting that normal procedures in place, working with HPD and the appropriate insurance paperwork and everything. Either in process or has been completed.
It's there, and then a following date for a rain date, if
Yes.
for some chance it would rain on Thursday.
Good thing we got you.
Yes. Is that good?
Motion.
That's excellent.
Motion to approve. Second.
Motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Thank you much. Next item on the agenda is Lisa Peck, City Manager.
Before you tonight, I have recommendation of appointments for the Hannibal Board of Public Works, Melissa Cognall, appointment for an unexpired term to expire July 2023.
This is up for first
there a-
reading.
It's for first reading, yes.
You will be bringing this back at the next meeting for final approval.
Yes.
Very
And
good.
then,
Does that person have to be here next meeting also?
no,
I feel like she should.
Be appropriate.
and every meeting thereafter.
Okay.
She has been, so.
All right. Your next item.
And then for Planning and Zoning Commission, Roger McGregor, appointment for a term to expire June of 2025.
Okay.
Now I'll have that back before you. You have, next one, you have the Riverboat Docking Lease Agreement for American Queen before you tonight. Highlights of that are, since they do not have an exclusive right to dock, they're paying $5,000 up front and then $5,000 on each renewal. The others paid more, but they had exclusive rights. And then $1 per passenger with a 15% escalation capped at $2 per passenger, and that's exactly the others. And anyone has any questions?
Yeah, how much money does that represent on a non-COVID?
What money or exactly are you talking about?
$10 per passenger.
We did not previously have this agreement in place. Karen, correct me if I'm incorrect, but we did not have this agreement in place prior, so this will be 100% gain.
Is there any estimate?
I do not believe that anyone could get that information at the time because we're not even positive leadership of how long.
They don't have any previous.
There's probably previous information from 2018, however, I don't, that would be accurate.
I think they typically carry a couple hundred passengers.
Yeah.
You get that.
Okay, so that's resolution 2338-21 to follow. Next item.
I'm sorry, I was making a note. The next item is the Marion County Multi-Jurisdictional Hazard Mitigation Plan. And for that, I will let Mr. Don Hart speak briefly on that.
Good evening.
There was a key word in there.
Pardon me?
There was a key word in there, briefly. Oh, this is John, not Roy. Okay.
When city manager asked me to come give a brief talk, I explained it. It's hard for a HARC to give a brief talk, but I will make it brief. What we have before us tonight is the Marion County Hazard Mitigation Plan. It's fairly well self-explanatory. It's trying to mitigate the outcome of any and all hazards that we would anticipate that we might face. The purpose of the hazard mitigation plan is to reduce, eliminate long-term risk to people and property. If we would go back to 73, 75, somewhere in there after the 73 flood, we talk about a flood wall and levee. We're talking about mitigation. That help mitigate the outcome of the flood. Tornado sirens helps mitigate, possibly save lives. We continue to look at different things every day. And of course, today we now look at pandemics. We've looked at mass vaccinations and mass fatality, as much as I hate to mention it. There's continued things going on that we must continue to do to help mitigate the outcome of a disaster should we have one. The city manager and I have worked together on our pump station down here for a year. Got it back up and running. Some mitigation. Make sure that we can get the water on the inside of the city back across the levee. We have talked with numerous people about the flash flooding. I think Councilman Bowen might recognize when I talk about flash flooding along Bear Creek. I've seen it out on Market Street. Councilman Welch. And we've seen homes down there that are still being flooded. And it's because of what I believe is sediment buildup in the creeks. Storm drains can no longer handle water. As the creek rises, all it does is backs up to storm drains in South Arch, Vermont, and those areas get flooded. That was the reason after the last major flood that I just mentioned, where these folks, I know their businesses was affected. We got the code red emergency alert notification system, so we can call those people to get them out of those houses, out of those businesses, or at least help mitigate the outcome of what we're looking at. So mitigation will go on forever. This plan is draft copy. It will continue to be a living document. In 5 years, we'll do it again. I researched back real quick to try to have some better answers in case I got put on the spot. For this, I can go back and find plans. It's 2004. I know it all came about after the federal FEMA, Federal Emergency Management Act of approximately year 2000. And we started doing it every 5 years. It's a living document. What's in it today will change tomorrow. And we will continue to look back at it and set new goals, meet some of those goals, which we have done as I look at this and look back over the other plans. We've met some of those goals, got a lot more to meet. I think the flash flooding is one of my big concerns right now. What can we do to help those people in the storm sewer issue? That's kind of the short rendition by a HARF. That's as best I can do, you know.
Pretty good.
Questions?
John, you identified in the in your survey several trailer parks around the area that your plan covers, and of course you've got problems with wind, tornadoes that was spelled out in that plan. But specifically, do you have places to shelter those people. I didn't see it identified in the plan, but have they been identified, and are they, I guess, known to those people?
Councilman, we have, excuse me, advertised it and got as much publicity as we could. We put it on, Facebook site. We put it on the 911 site on computer. I have it on my Hannibal Marion County site. We've listed them a number of times. We put them in the Hannibal paper. And yes, do we have what I call safe rooms? I'm not going to go that far. What we have is churches, and my call, Director of 911 was very instrumental, and several others trying to talk to people to find places. And we have the Emmanuel Baptist Church in Oakwood, Christian Church, right up the street from there. They have basements, and they will open their doors. We have Tabernacle Praise on the west end of town. And we have activated those places and called those people when we get a severe threat. We notify them when we get the threat, because you can't wait to notify them once you get a tornado warning. It's too late. So we got to tell them, okay, we're under tornado watch. Will you activate? And as a rule, they will open their doors. People come and go. Does everybody in the trailer park out on Warren Barrett know that those churches are available? And will they even go? As a rule, when we sound the sirens, people go outside to look at the sky instead of going to their basement. So
We included.
Sir?
We included.
Yeah. But no, we don't have, quote, safe rooms. Now, I have been talking with Stilly at the school, and we're trying to figure out a way to get a generator. It's another mitigation plan, if you would, to power the gymnasium, the cafeteria, and so forth. If we have to do mass feedings, mass housing, or anything of that nature. So we're continuing to move forward and try to find bigger and better ideas. As you folks can imagine, it always comes down to that one thing, money.
There you go.
So,
But one further question. Overlay Area College does have a safe room. And I'm not aware, is that available to the public in an instance like what we're talking?
I wished I could give you a real good answer on that. As far as I'm concerned, it was, because federal money was, I believe, used to help build part of that. But from what I have been able to understand, that all it encompasses is a 2-mile radius.
Okay.
So basically, all of the hospital and clinics in that area out there, yes.
Okay.
If you're driving down the highway 36, you're within 2 miles. Can you go there? I don't know.
Okay.
But 2-mile radius is what I've always understood from them.
Thank you.
Any other questions?
I have one quick question, Mr. Mayor. When on the memorandum, it says staff recommends council approval of this resolution. Staff, has this been vetted through the fire department, police department, all the players all met and have discussed this plan and are up to date on the current plan?
I'm sorry I didn't understand everything you said. I got both hearing aids in, and when you put the mask on, I lose you.
Sure. So I can repeat, has this all been vetted through all the players in the game? Chief Davis, Chief Benjamin, Mike Hall at 911, Chief Dobson. Has this all been reviewed? Are they on board? I'm not on board necessarily, but are they current with the plan?
With the hazard mitigation plan?
Yes. Have they had a buy-in or say in how this is developed?
They have been involved in it. I know the police department, the fire department, we've got some of our information from
Yeah,
them.
if I may jump in for a second, this plan is initiated by Mark Twain Regional Council of Governments. So they had invited, the people who were participating. And I know that PD I know there were a couple of officers who went to the meeting. I don't know about
I
fire.
think NACI was involved with it. and
Well,
nothing with the
there was
fire
only one.
department.
I just think it's very important that when we do things like this, having past experience in the field, also, and when we get things up here that say, you know, staff recommends, I mean, is all the staff current, getting the current information on this plan? So that was my question. I think it's very important that we all are on the same page and communicate.
And Councilman Coy, the hazardous mitigation plan is not our local emergency operation plan.
Understood.
Everybody has that and is very familiar with it. It goes into detail, including the coroner and body, so,
Yep, I'm familiar. So, okay, thank you, sir.
yes, sir.
Any other discussion? Okay, that'll be resolution 2339-21 to follow. Thank you, sir. Angelica Zerbonia, City Clerk.
Thank you, Mayor, Council. I'm all about the elections this evening. As I had read earlier, the election certification. I have this evening a bill for a first reading that would ratify the approval from the April 6th election, where the duly qualified voters voted to approve Proposition 1, which authorizes an amendment to our city charter, Chapter 2, the council, Section 2.07, relating to meetings, times, and places, which again allows the council members to attend the meeting by electronic means in the event due to illness or contamination of City Hall, a general health emergency, or pandemic, where they are not available to be present in City Hall. So I am requesting a first reading on Bill number 21-012, and upon final approval, that will be submitted to the Municipal Code Corporation to be included in our actual charter. The amendment will, although it's effective, it will be amended in the charter for that time.
Very good. Next item on the agenda is Karen Burdett, Director of Finance.
Hello again. Okay, at your seat, I've given each one of you a budget, and I have an electronic copy that I will send to you also, because I know some people prefer electronic copy, and so if you don't need the hard copy, just leave it and I'll pick it up. We have, in the front of the budget, there is the transmittal letter from the city manager, some notes from me, and a table of contents. When I sent this to the printer, we did not have page numbers on it, so that's why the table of contents is in separate. If you have any questions, please let me know. The budget, as it's here tonight, has a deficit of $147,438 to the general fund. So as you go through those, like I said, if you have any questions, let me know, and then we can discuss this at the workshop. I'm also requesting a public hearing to be set for June 1st. I know you all already passed that, but per our charter, I am supposed to present you with the budget, and then we set the public hearing. So I am asking for you to set a public hearing for June 1st at 6:45. Any questions?
Motion to set public
Second.
Motion is second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion's carried.
Okay, thank you.
6:45 p.m. Thanks. Andy Dorian, just ready to go.
Johnny on the spot. I've got two items tonight. First, we'd like to enter into a year airport aviation hangar agreement with Air Cover Crop Solutions. They are a local crop duster. They ran it last year. They've been good to work with, so it would be for $200 a month for 1 year. And that's a resolution to follow.
I have a question.
Yes, sir.
Why is a lease for $1,200 a year coming? Isn't that rather small?
Because it needs the mayor's signature. So anytime a lease agreement needs the mayor's signature, it has to go to council for permission. I don't know if James, you want to.
Yeah, basically, the way Missouri law is set up is no contract with a city is binding or effective unless it's approved by the council and signed by the mayor, which any amount. So that you run into that a lot of times. The city will just go ahead and do certain things, cellular contracts, et cetera, but realistically, the way the law is set up for it to be binding, it has to be voted on by the council and signed by the mayor. So anytime you're dealing with a party that's aware of that law, they always say, well, can I get that before council?
So does that mean our cellular contracts are no?
Correct. And I use that as an example, but that is one that came up. Was a phone contract that they didn't want to let us out of, and it's like you don't have a binding contract. So,
And this is a little different than like a typical use agreement or a boat slip because of the insurance requirements and all the requirements, because there is other aviation equipment in there, and make sure it's binding in case we have any kind of issue. So,
Another question.
yes, sir.
$200 a month going rate?
Yeah. I mean, just for one spot, that would be the typical rate is what we see other airports renting their plane for, especially one with ours that has no heat and it's a shared public hangar. So you can actually say he's using a little bit more than a typical spot, but a typical spot in a public hangar would be $150. So he has also agreed to buy a certain percentage of fuel from us, which that also helps. You're welcome.
There'll be resolution 2340-21 to follow. Your next item.
Next, I have the second one down for Edie.
I've got the first one.
Okay. Sandra Whelan, there was a fire recently at 1800 Gray Street. They did not have insurance on the property, and they don't have the funds to take it down. So the donation program through the city, they'll donate it to the city, and then we'll get the warranty deed, and we will take it down sometime in the future.
How do we verify she doesn't?
That I don't know. That's a good question. It's never been asked before. So.
Well, from a practical standpoint, I mean, your point's probably well taken, but from a practical standpoint, if something's covered by insurance, the first thing the insurance company will do is contact the city, because we've got a requirement that they post a bond with the city to verify that it gets torn down. So while there's probably no good way to make sure that they're telling the truth, the fact that no insurance company contacts you in a timely fashion generally is probably going to be pretty good evidence, because the insurance companies do not want to get in a bind, because there is the potential for a city to go back and make a further claim on the insurance company. In other words, they could pay out, people take the money and walk, and then the city goes, wait a minute, we've got a law on point, and the insurance company could very easily get dragged in. So they're usually pretty good about contacting us and saying, hey, you want your bond? You want us to post that? Because they want to, when they make a payment, they want to be loose of it. So.
But lack of insurance doesn't necessarily mean lack of.
That's a valid point. It's one of those things where I suppose I'm going to get folksy and say to you, poor folks have poor ways, and there's probably a pretty good idea when you take a look at it. If somebody's not going to repair damage or do the things they would be necessary in order for them to sell it, et cetera, that also probably leads to a reasonable belief that, okay, they probably can't do it. The problem's going to be that absent filing a petition in circuit court, the city probably doesn't have the authority to make them disgorge financial records and show us. We could sue them saying, well, this is a public nuisance, and then we'd have discovery rights under the circuit court, and we could do it that way. The problem with that is, your filing fee alone is going to be a couple of $100, and it gets complicated, blah, blah, blah. Whereas the donation program, the intent is to see to it that the city gets some ownership interest so that we've got some control over where that property goes. But number two, we always require that there be a set of restrictions that we came up with that allow us to make sure that that property is put to better use. So it's one of those things where it might not be the best solution, but it's probably a better solution than what we had been experiencing, which was just we'd wait 3 or 4 years and have a burned out Hulk because we didn't have the money in the budget to take it down. And then at some point, what would happen is somebody would take it at tax sale, they wouldn't tear it down, our lien, or we would end up being basically forced to tear it down, and then a tax sale wipes out our lien because of the way the state statutes are set up.
So your points are all taken. Was an ask made for proof of?
I doubt it. We've never done it that way, but I mean, it's a decent point, but we've never done that before.
We don't want to be it's my professional opinion that we do not want to be requesting people's finances.
Is that all, Andy?
That's all I have.
Okay.
Okay.
You're taking up the other item?
I am. So before you tonight is the request for a public hearing, June 1, 2021 at 6:30. The city is applying to rezone 500 Bridge Street. The property it's the Nancy Kaufman property. And the request to rezone it is because right now it's P1 Parks and Parks and Recreation, and that's not really an appropriate zoning designation. And a more appropriate zoning designation would be H1 Historic District. Yes, Nancy is aware. Her real estate agent is aware. Everyone is aware.
Make a motion to set the public hearing.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Right. Next item on the agenda is Mike Benjamin, the fire chief.
Good evening, Mayor, Council, City Manager. I'm before you tonight to ask to purchase a 2021 Chevy Silverado 4x4 crew cab with an off-road package. This is a vehicle that we've had in our budget the last 2 or 3 years, and it's got nixed. We were told to check into the availability of a vehicle for us. We went down to St. Louis, Don Brown Chevrolet, under state bid. Found a vehicle that, although their inventory is very short, we did find a vehicle that would fit our needs. Purchase price, and this is turnkey, is $37,280. That's lights, siren, radio, ready to go as soon as we get it. So we'll be using this to tow a lot of our trailers, be used as a service vehicle for our department. And anytime we'd have a call out of town where we'd have to take extra personnel, this would be able to haul people.
The vehicle this replaces, what year?
It's going to be replacing 2 vehicles.
Replacing 2.
Replacing 2000 Ford F-350. It's a diesel with 131,700 miles. We are actually going to transfer that over to the street department for vehicle for them for mowing. And then we have another vehicle we'll probably put in the city auction. 2001 Ford Expedition. Both of these vehicles used.
Mm-hmm.
We've got the life out of them that we need in the department. We'll be using the radio out of the 2 radios out of one of the vehicles to put in this new vehicle. So we do have that part of the equipment already purchased. So.
Chief, did you say this was state bid?
Yes.
Price? Okay.
I'd love to be able to buy a vehicle like this for
Yeah, I
myself.
know. You better get it while you can. I watch the
It's-
national news at night, and even used vehicles are.
The gentleman
getting
down there
tough to come
explained to
by.
me there's a chip problem right now,
Right.
and that's why you're seeing everybody's inventories are so low, and they don't know when that's gonna be corrected, so we was wanting to jump on this as quick as we could.
How does this fit in with your larger asset mapping?
Or what, sir?
How does this fit into your larger asset mapping program? You know, how often Or you is need it capital? vehicles, how often you update them?
Usually we have a vehicle, when we purchase a vehicle new, it usually lasts us about 15 to 20 years. We're gonna be using this daily for an inspection vehicle for our inspection officer, plus it would be used to haul any trailers. If we'd have to go out of town on a Swiftwater call, we could haul that Swiftwater trailer. Hazmat call, if we had to take the other trailer, we'd be able to haul that for us, plus haul extra personnel, so.
So there's no asset plan, it's just on an as-needed basis? There's no asset plan, just on an as-needed basis?
Yeah, we do have plans, but sometimes it depends on how the budget is. We've run through a couple of rough years here, and with COVID and everything, we've had to put this vehicle off for a couple of budget cycles, so. I think that it's much needed. The other two vehicles that we were using right now are starting to kill us in the service department. So, yeah, we do. This is one of the smaller trucks, so this is not like purchasing one of the engines or one of the lighter trucks. Those are purchased on time basis too. So.
I believe that you need it, I was just curious.
No, that's fine.
Mayor.
I appreciate the question.
I'll make a motion to authorize it.
Second. There's a motion and a second. Any other discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion
Thank you.
carried. Thanks, Chief. Hey, council, we have before us now resolution number 2338-21. I need a motion to have the clerk read this resolution and call the roll for adoption.
So move.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any discussion? None, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
Resolution number 2338-21, a resolution of the City of Hannibal authorizing the mayor to execute a lease agreement with the American Queen Steamboat Operating Company for riverboat landings on the Hannibal riverfront with terms as defined in the agreement attached to your resolution. Councilmembers Bowen,
Yes.
Welch,
Yes.
Beach,
Yes.
McCoy, Mayor Pro Tem Dobson,
Yes.
Councilmember Franke,
Yes.
and Mayor Hart.
Yes. Declare resolution 2338-21 duly approved and adopted on this day. We now have resolution 2339-21. I need a motion to have the clerk read this resolution and call the roll for adoption.
Second.
Motion is
Excuse me.
second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion's carried.
Resolution number 2339-21, a resolution of the City of Hannibal adopting the Marion County Multi-Jurisdictional Local Hazard Mitigation Plan. Council members Bowen,
Yes.
Welch,
Yes.
Beach,
Yes.
McCoy,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Dobson,
Yes.
Councilmember Franke, and Mayor Hart.
Yes. Declare resolution 2339-21 duly approved and adopted on this day. We now have resolution 2340-21. I need a motion to have the clerk read this resolution and call the roll for adoption.
So move.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion's carried.
Resolution number 2340-21, a resolution of the City of Hannibal authorizing the mayor to execute a one-year hangar lease agreement in the amount of $200 per month between the city and Air Cover Crop Solutions for the use of city-owned hangar at the Hannibal Regional Airport. Councilmembers Bowen,
Yes.
Welch,
Yes.
Beach,
Yes.
McCoy,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Dobson,
Yes.
Councilmember Franke, and Mayor Hart.
Yes. Declare resolution 2340-21 duly approved and adopted on this day. We now have resolution 2341-21. I need a motion to have the clerk read this resolution and call the roll for adoption.
So moved.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion's carried.
Resolution number 2341-21, a resolution of the City of Hannibal authorizing the mayor to execute a general warranty deed and settlement agreement and release for the acceptance of donated property to the city known as 1800 Gray Street from Sandra K. Whelan. Councilmembers Bowen,
Yes.
Welch,
Yes.
Beach,
Yes.
McCoy,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Dobson,
Yes.
Councilmember Franke,
Okay.
and Mayor Hart.
Yes. declare Resolution 2341-21 duly approved and adopted on this day. We now have before us Bill number 21-012. I need a motion to have the clerk give this bill a first reading.
So move.
Motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
Bill number 21-012, an ordinance of the City of Hannibal revising Chapter 2, the council, Section 2.07, meetings, time, and place of the city charter pursuant to the approval by the vote of the people. First reading.
Council, at this time, I'd ask the motion go in closed session in accordance with RSMO 610.021, paragraph 1, in meeting myself, council, city manager, city attorney, city clerk, Corey Mahaffey. I think that's everyone.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any discussion? None, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Councilmembers Bowen,
Yes.
Welch,
Yes.
Beach,
Yes.
McCoy,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Dobson,
Yes.
Councilmember Cronky, and Mayor Hark.
Yes. Okay, we'll adjourn to closed session. Thank you, everyone, for attending this evening.